me just do that. Okay, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Emma Lovell. Emma is a personal branding coach with a mission to support female entrepreneurs to live and love their brand. Through her business, Lovelly Communications, Emma supports women to gain clarity, build confidence, and increase connections through their personal brand. As a business owner of 13 years, Emma has experienced the importance of building a brand and sharing that with the world. Bringing together her skills in communication, marketing, PR, writing, and social media, Emma gives women the tools and support to build their brand. Through one-to-one coaching, retreats, and photo shoots, Emma helps women to own their story, show up as their authentic self, and share their message and mission with the world. Today, Emma's going to tell us how to write that bio that makes an impact and starts a conversation. Over to you, Emma.
Thank you, Dia. Oh, it's so lovely to be here with you all, and I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I'm presenting from today. That's the people of the Yagambeh language region, and I pay my respects to the elders past, present, and emerging. So yes, we're going to talk about bio writing, and I'm going to do this absolutely on speed, so please keep up, but I want to give you the top highlights. So I usually do this over 45 minutes, but we're going to do some real quick tips and highlights to help you to write that bio. But also, I said on the call on Monday to use your bio. So this isn't something you write, you set, you forget. It's something you use, and it's a tool. So there we go. As Dia said, I'm Emma Lovell. So this is something that your bio is going to help you with. You can actually use your bio to introduce yourself. And we have to do that every single week in the Brava group. You have to do that when you go to a networking event. So stop thinking of your bio as this stagnant thing that's sitting over there on your website or on one of your social media profiles. Actually start to use it. And I say it different sometimes. I'll say, so today I can tell you I'm Emma Lovell. I'm a coach, speaker, and writer, and I'm helping women to show up and shine. So that I do that by helping them to build their personal brand, to give them tips on how to introduce themselves, to promote themselves, to put themselves forward for opportunities so that they can attract the work and life that they want. I'll also add in, I like to add in that I'm based in the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia. I have a husband who is my own Aquaman, he works at SeaWorld, and a son who is 2, my little Finn. Finn, yes, it's like a shark because SeaWorld. So we're quite interesting people, I think, to talk to. But, you know, another thing that people see about me and know about me from anything I share, and probably from 2 minutes of conversation with me, is that I love to travel. And so I actually have a podcast for my personal brand business, and that's called Live and Love Your Brand. But I have a travel podcast, which has almost 90 episodes on it as well. And I have been to 64 countries around the world. So travel is a huge part of my life and something that I incorporate into my bio and into my story, because if people are working with me, if they're seeing me, I'm probably going to be somewhere around the world or in another city, and keeping up with me is challenging. So I hope you've got a little bit of an impression of me in a very short time from my introduction. Now, what are we going to talk about today? Quickly, we're going to talk about why a bio and your personal brand is important, what you need in your bio, and how to write one. We might skip over that part, but I'm happy to share in the group as well a few little resources that I have to remind you of how to do this, but also how you can make that impact once you have written that bio. So obviously you're here because we're in Brava Women, but also, you can put your hand up or you can say yes in the comments, but do you find it difficult to write about yourself? Yeah, it's a pretty common thing, so please don't feel bad about it. I actually work with authors and writers. I've presented this to a writing community. Writers find it hard to write about themselves. It is hard in any situation, challenging to see the reflection of ourselves. So don't ever feel bad about that. You're not sure what to include in a bio. Probably there's like different styles, or potentially you were taught it a certain way, or you're writing it more like a resume as opposed to, an introduction to who you are. And you want to make an impact and you want to reach more people with your work. So if any of those things are happening for you, cool, you're here. Now, I'd usually ask you a question, but we don't have time, so I'm going to tell you anyway. Some of you might know what a personal brand is. Some of you might hear me introduce myself and go, personal brand, sure. It's becoming more common to know what it is, but one of the most common things I hear is people saying, well, I don't need a personal brand, or I'm not going to be an influencer, or I'm not planning to be a speaker, so I don't need one. Well, I'm sorry to tell you, but you already have one and you're already creating an impression just purely by showing up. You all, when we came into that room today, we would have all started to get an impression of each other if we didn't know each other. So it's actually 55% of a first impression is visual. So whether we like it or not, appearance, what we wear, where we are, does make a difference, but it's also your body language. It's actually only 7%, and people are freaking out. You're freaking out about your bio or how to introduce yourself. Only 7% is actually the words that you're saying that they're actually going to take in, because there's also the tone, your tone. So if I say, hi, I'm Emma Lovell and I'm a personal brand coach and I'm really excited to be here today. Like, do you believe that? Does it come across as me? No, like my tone, my voice, the words that I use, the tone that I use, but also how I present, all of that gives you an impression of me. So you already have a personal brand. You're just probably not aware of it. You're not amplifying it. You're not really telling us the story. So to explain that further, your personal brand, love a diagram, is two things. It's how you see yourself and it's how others see you. And so we can do the whole, it doesn't matter what people think, and like they can think whatever they want, But in this sense, it kind of does matter what they think, because they're creating their own perspective. They have their own perspective and they're creating an impression. Whether they like you or not, that's not the point. But the part that is often forgotten is how you see yourself. And so often we're allowing everyone to tell the story for us. We're allowing everyone else to create the impression for us and to make their mind up about us. You can take control of that story by telling your story, telling us who you are, showing us who you are, and then that's going to influence their impression of you. But if you just sit back and go, oh, they'll like me or they won't, I'll just sit back and figure it out. Well, they're trying to figure it out, and they're going to use their own worldview, their own story, their own words to make that up for you. So your personal brand is how you promote yourself. It's the unique combinations of skills, experience, personality that you want the world to see. So I've told you that I'm a traveler. I want you to know that. I've told you I'm a mother. I want you to know that about me. I've told you I'm on the Gold Coast. Like all those things, you quickly get an impression of the type of person I am and the life that I'm living and what I want to be doing because of a few key messages that I told you. If I told you, even saying you live in Melbourne, you live in the Gold Coast, you get a very different impression of a person because of the activities and the lifestyle that they're living. Location is something really important I like to include in the bio because it's such a connection thing. People need to, we all have a home base and we feel, even though Amanda's from the UK originally, instantly I feel connected to her because my family's from the UK. It's just a point of connection. So this is telling your story. It's how you reflect your conduct, behavior, spoken and unspoken words. Like I said, you could just sit here and I'm already getting an impression of you by the clothing you're wearing, by your hair, by your surroundings, by your attitude, by your energy. All of that is telling me things before you even open your mouth. So we're just being mindful of that. And how do I want to show up? How do I want to be received? I'll give you a really great exercise, which I just gave to Francis in our quick one-on-one. For the other people seeing you, I give you a challenge to go out today and reach out to 5 different people, probably a family, friend, work, colleague, whatever. 5 different people, and just ask them the simple question, what are 3 words you would use to describe me? Then choose 3 words and write them about yourself. What will come back generally is lovely, often makes people cry, but you're probably not seeing yourself the way other people are seeing you. And I'm pretty sure you're probably being more self-deprecating than they're being about you. So, but what we want to see is, are the words you're saying about yourself and the impression you think you're showing, are they aligned with what people are feeling about you? Some people are coming back saying you're intelligent, you're beautiful, you're funny. Do you also feel intelligent, beautiful, and funny? We want alignment. that middle section of what others are seeing of you and what you see of yourself. So I hope you do that exercise. And if you do it, I'd love you to post in the Brava Women group and see your 3 words. That would be really, really nice. So I would ask you usually, but I'm going to tell you, where can you see your bio? Where would you see a bio? And I named a few, the obvious ones. We'd see that predominantly, let's talk today about our LinkedIn profile, but you might also see it on your website. And this is, there's 2 ways to write. It can be third person or first person. But where else would we hear or see a bio? Well, there's your owned channels. So these are the channels that are yours to communicate on. I mean, they're not, they're actually owned by the other organizations. Websites are actually your only owned one, but these are your places to speak. So LinkedIn, your website, your Instagram, it's a very short one, but it's a bio. Your Facebook page, your YouTube page, a TikTok, a Facebook group, if you own the Facebook group, but also if you're a participant. Whenever you join a Facebook group, we do an intro post, and maybe we'll do a challenge soon, Dee, and we can get everybody to write their intro post again with their new bios, because you should be introducing yourself to your audience at least once a month. At least once a month, because you would have new people in your audience who haven't seen it, and also people who might forget what you're up to or where you're at, or things have changed, so you need to update that introduction. And then obviously, like if you have a podcast or something, some sort of platform to send out, you've got to put it in bio. But places you might not have thought of are when you are at a conference. Sometimes they have a conference brochure and you need to put your bio in there. You might be at an event. Again, they might ask you to introduce yourself or to have a page about who's attending. If you were on a panel speaking, you would need your bio. At a charity fundraiser, whether you were speaking or attending, again, there's places, if you did a raffle item, I have to use my bio when I donate a raffle item. If you spoke at a community group, if you attended a networking group, which we all do, we're here. Membership groups. Hey, everyone, you're new to the membership. Introduce yourself. Like, your bio is used so much more than you think. And it's asked for. You're probably asked for it more than you think. And there's nothing worse than going, Dia asked me for my bio and I got to write it on the spot. Like, have it ready. And you might have a few variations of it, but have it ready. And what we're talking about here is a 1 sentence, 50 words and 100 words. If you're on your website, you're talking about 200 words. It's maybe, to me, it's not a lot. It's not a lot of words. And actually, sometimes people feel constrained by the shortness of it, but a classic bio is 100 words. So I would really encourage you, my profile's changed a little bit. I'm not the expert. Well, I am an expert, but I'm not the one and only way to do it, is what I'm saying. I encourage you to go to my LinkedIn. Please connect with me. Emma Lovell on LinkedIn. I'm very active, but I encourage you to go and look at my profile. It's pretty beefed out to show you how you can fill in a lot of the sections. So this is my bio. And on LinkedIn, I'm Emma Lovell. So I write my bio as, hi, I'm Emma Lovell. Sometimes you'll see that about section. So your bio on LinkedIn goes in the about section. Some people write that as a third person thing. I don't think that's that. Dia read my bio in third person. So I have my bio written as first person, because if I'm introducing myself, I say, I am Emma Lovell. But if Dia is introducing me, she says, this is Emma Lovell, and she is up. So you just write the 2 versions, so you can go, here you go there, here you go there. I strongly encourage you to write this in first person, because if I were to come to your page, I want to feel like I'm getting to know you. I've got in there, if I could only have one thing, I would like you to take that first paragraph. If I need you to know more, I'd like you to know more about my speaking and emceeing. If I want you to know more about me, we've got a bit more time, I want you to know about the travel, because the travel tells you a lot about my personality, who I am, what drives me, what inspires me, what motivates me. And lastly, I have there where I'm living. I could have chosen to leave that, if I only had a shorter space, I would probably say, hi, I'm Emma Love, I'm based on the Gold Coast, or, the second line would probably be based on the Gold Coast. I do think location is important. I also think it's very important to include your name in your bio. Yes, the page says Emma Lovell, but I've come down this section. I want to know, if you could say your name 10 times over, that's not a problem. We want people to remember you and to know you. So when you're introducing yourself, you should always say your full name. I've then included my contact details, because especially on LinkedIn, it's not always easy to find. And I think if you don't already have it, your email signature should have all of your contact details on every email, because I've been contacted by people in a big group situation of messaging because I'm the only one they had contact details for. If you want to include your skills, I would be including it like this. The biggest mistake I see on a LinkedIn bio or about or anybody's bio is it's just a list of your career and education. We don't need that. There's another section for that. That's a different story. We want to get to know who you are. If you did a master's, that can be one line in it or 2 words in it. It doesn't have to be the whole thing. So I just really encourage you to write your bio. I'm just going to show you a quick example, but I'll put it in the group for you. Write your bio as 1 line, 1 sentence, 50 words, and then 100 words. Now, I flicked through that quickly, but I just want you to know that the 50 words came from the 100 words, and the 1 sentence came from 50 words. That's not, you didn't write that. We didn't write it in 3 different ways. We wrote 100 words, we wrote a shorter version of it, we wrote a 1-liner version of it. Then if they ask, you can meet any requirement and you've got it all there. So you're just going to spend, if you could spend 1 hour writing this down and not overthinking it and rewording it, you would just have this great asset that you could then use. And then how do we use it? I'll also send you a link for my brand review checklist just to go and have a look. This is how you do a brand review, how to go and see how are you showing up currently, like how are you coming across to the world. So that's all. I've got a guide for that. I'll send you a link if you want to go and pick that one up. The next steps, do your brand audit. Just go and see what's out there at the moment. Is your bio up to date? Are your photos up to date? Are you coming across the way you want to be coming across? No judgment. It's just a check-in. 2, you write your bio, but then use it. Pitch yourself using that fabulous new bio. Like, go and put it out there. Say, I'd like to be on your podcast. Here's a bit about me. You know, come and introduce yourself to the group. Post it on LinkedIn as a post. And again, if you go and visit my LinkedIn and you see my activity every month, or my Instagram as well, I'll put a photo of me and I'll say, hi, I'm Emma Lovell. In case you didn't know, this is me. And I literally copy and paste my bio. I just do a little different intro, but each month it's a different photo and a few different things to highlight from my bio so people can get to know me. And then, yeah, posting it on your channels, like actually using that bio or lines from your bio. You do not have to reinvent the wheel with your content and be, writing new things all the time. Use what you've written, use what you have, use that information, and you're just repositioning it with maybe a new introduction line or a new photo or a new video. But telling your audience who you are, what you're about, how they can find you is going to do wonders for attracting more work and more of what you want, as Amanda was just talking to me about, more of what you want into your life. And finally, if I give you one piece of advice today, be yourself, because everyone else is already taken. That was Oscar Wilde's advice, but I'll borrow it. So
brilliant. And can people work with you, Emma? Have you got any?
I do. I've got 2 things. So I'll pop this in the group for everyone. I do have my How to Live and Love Your Brand course. So I go into this. This is a sort of like a one section within one of the modules. So there's a lot of stuff to build on in there. So the course is $997 all the time. What I am offering to the group and would offer anytime someone wants to take it up is a free one-on-one with me. That'll be a 90-minute session. Those are usually valued at $495. So that would be a session to go through, and once you've done some of the work, we can go and do some of it together or review whatever you want to do in that hour. 90 minutes recorded, Zoom recorded, but there's videos, there's templates, there's a whole bunch of assets in that course, and there's lifetime access so that they can go in anytime. But the free one-on-one is only available to Brava women. If you do just want a one-on-one to really look at what you're doing and to get some tips and actions, I really stand by the fact that building your brand takes time, but I can give you some things that you can take away right now, even if it were to be working on your bio together, that you can go start taking action to build that consistency, to build that brand. So I will be offering 25% off to Brava women anytime. So that brings it down to $375. but I'll pop that all on a
Yeah,
thing.
in the group. Thanks for that.